Chike's hands were shaking as he sat in the driver's seat of the new Mercedes Benz. His heart pounded like a drum, echoing in his ears. Chike could only focus on the phone in his hands, which wouldn't stop buzzing. He gazed at the rear mirror, his eyes wide with fear. He was supposed to feel powerful driving this car. It was his dream, something he had always wanted. But now, all he felt was fear. The phone buzzed again. Chike hesitated, then answered. "Hello?" The voice was barely a whisper. "Chike, you think you can cheat me?" The voice on the other end was cold. It was Emeka, the man who had sold him the Benz. Chike swallowed hard. "I don't know what you are talking about." "Don't play dumb with me, Chike," Emeka said. "The money you sent is fake. You tried to fool me." Chike didn't know what to do. "Emeka, I can No explanation," Emeka said, cutting him off. "You have 1 hour to bring my car back or you will regret it." The line went dead. Chike's hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly, his knuckles turning white. He had never been so scared in his life. The car was supposed to be his way out, his chance to finally be somebody, but now it is all falling apart. As he sat there, trying to think of what to do, he noticed 2 men approaching the car. They were big, their faces hard and unfriendly. Chike's heart raced as they got closer, and he realized with horror that they were coming for him. "Chike," one of them shouted as they reached the car. "Get out now." Chike did not move. He was frozen with fear. The men pounded on the window, their faces twisted with anger. "You are in big trouble, Chike," the other man said. "You thought you can steal from Emeka? Now you're going to pay." Chike knew he had no choice. He had to run. He pulled the car door open and ran out of the car, running down the street as fast as he could. He didn't know where he was going. All he knew was that he had to get away. But he wasn't fast enough. The men were right behind him, and soon they caught up. Chike felt a hand grip the back of his shirt, yanking him to the ground. He hit the pavement hard, pain all over his body.
Please don't hurt me,"
Chike begged, his voice shaking.
"I will get the money, I swear."
The man laughed, a curious mocking sound.
"It's too late for that, Chike. You made a big mistake."
One of the men pulled out a gun, pointing it directly at Chike's head. Chike's heart stopped. He couldn't believe what was about to happen. And then suddenly, please support the channel by hitting that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And guess what? It's free. And please like and comment so you can get more engaging stories like this. Thank you for being part of Nina Tales family. Now let's go back to the story. It all started few weeks earlier. Chike was sitting in his small apartment in Lagos, staring at his old worn-out phone. Chike was tired of his life, tired of struggling every day just to get by. He worked as a security guard, a job that paid barely enough to cover his rent and food. He had big dreams, but they seemed so far out of reach. Then one day something happened. Chike was scrolling through social media when he saw a post that caught his eye. It was a picture of a man, someone he used to know from the neighborhood, standing in front of a brand new Mercedes Benz. The caption read, "Hard work pays off." Chike felt envy. That could have been him. He had always wanted a Benz ever since he was a child. To him, the car was more than just a vehicle. It was a symbol of success, of making it in a world that often seemed determined to keep him down. But how can he afford a car like this? He barely had enough money to feed himself, let alone buy a luxury car. The thought haunted him day and night. until he couldn't think of anything else. That was when the idea came to him. It started as a tiny whisper, a small voice in the back of his mind. What if you didn't need the money? It said. What if you could get the car without paying for it? At first, Chike brushed the thought aside. It was ridiculous, impossible. But the more he thought about it, the more it seemed like the only way. He knew a guy, Obinna, who was good with computers. He knew how to make fake documents. Maybe he could pull it off. The idea was dangerous, but Chike was desperate. He was tired of being nobody. He wanted to be somebody, to show the world that he was worth something. In his mind, the benz was the key to that. So one evening, Chike made the call. Obinna answered on the first ring. Chike, my guy, long time, Obinna said, his voice cheerful. Obinna, I need your help, Chike replied. His voice was low. Anything for you, bro. What do you need? Chike took a deep breath. I need a fake bank transfer. Something that looks real enough to fool someone into selling something expensive. There was a long pause on the other end of the line. Chike, you know this is risky, right? If you get caught. I know, Chike interrupted. But I have to do this. Obinna sighed. Alright, I can do it, but it's going to cost you. I will find a way to pay you, Chike said, relief flooding through him. Just make sure it's good. Don't worry, Obinna replied. When I'm done, even the bank won't even know it's fake. The next few days went by slowly. Chike could hardly think about anything else. His mind was consumed with the plan, with the idea of finally getting his hands on the car he had always wanted. Obinna worked quickly, and within a week, he had the documents ready. Chike couldn't believe how real they looked. The transfer appeared to come from a legitimate bank account with all the proper seals and signature. That's it, Obinna said, handing Chike the document. But remember, once you give this to the seller, you have to be ready to leave the town. They will find out eventually. Chike nodded. I know, but by then I will be long gone. He was ready. He had already found the car, a sleek black Mercedes Benz that was everything he had dreamed of. The seller was Emeka, a man Chike had heard about in the neighborhood. Emeka was known for dealing in luxury cars, but he was also known for being ruthless. If he found out about the fake transfer, Chike knew he would be in serious trouble. But Chike wasn't thinking about that. All he could see was the car. The day of the deal arrived. He barely slept that night, his mind racing with a mix of excitement and fear. He put on his best clothes, trying to look the part of a successful man who could afford such a car. When he arrived at Emeka's place, he was greeted by one of Emeka's men. Are you here for the benz? The man asked, eyeing Chike up and down. Chike nodded, trying to keep his voice steady. Yes, I am. The man sighed and led Chike inside. The car was parked in the driveway, and Chike's breath caught in his throat when he saw it. It even looked more better in person, the black paint shining in the sunlight. Emeka was waiting inside, sitting behind a large desk. He was a big man with a frowning face. You like the car? Emeka asked, his voice deep and commanding. It's perfect. Good, said Emeka. Let's see the money. Chike handed over the fake transfer documents, his heart pounding in his chest. Emeka studied them for a long moment, his eyes narrowing slightly. Chike held his breath, praying that Emeka wouldn't notice anything wrong. Finally, Emeka nodded and handed Chike the keys. It's yours. Chike could hardly believe it. He had done it. He had the car. He drove away. It was about 15 minutes from Emeka's shop. He looked up the front mirror, and what he saw sent shivers down his spine. Chike's hands were shaking as he sat in the driver's seat of the brand new Mercedes Benz. His heart pounded like a drum. Everywhere was getting dark in his eyes. Chike could hardly focus on anything but the phone in his hands that wouldn't stop buzzing. He looked at the rearview mirror, his eyes wide with fear. He was supposed to feel powerful driving this car. What he felt now was dread and fear. The phone buzzed again. Chike hesitated, then answered. "Hello?" The voice was barely a whisper. "Chike, you think you can cheat me?" The voice on the other end was cold and deadly. It was Emeka, the man who had sold him the benz. Chike swallowed his saliva. "I don't know what you are talking about." "Don't play dumb with me, Chike," Emeka said. "That money you sent is fake. You tried to fool me." When Chike realized that Emeka knew what he had done, he tried to explain. "Emeka, let me explain." "No explanation," Emeka said, cutting him off. "You have just 5 minutes to return that car back to my shop, or else you will regret it." The line went dead. Chike's hand gripped the steering wheel so tightly, his knuckles turned white. He had never been so scared in his life. The car was supposed to be his way out, his chance to finally be somebody, but now it was all falling apart. As he sat there, trying to think of what to do, he noticed 2 men approaching the car. They were big, their faces hard and unfriendly. Chike's heart raced as they got closer, and he realized with horror that they were coming for him. "Chike!" one of them shouted as they reached the car. "Get out now!" Chike didn't move. He was frozen with fear. The men pounded on the window, their faces twisted with anger. "You are in big trouble, Chike," the other man said. "You thought you can steal from Emeka? Now you're going to pay." Chike knew he had no choice. He moved to the passenger seat, opened the door, and started running. He ran out of the car down the street as fast as he could. He didn't know where he was going. All he knew was that he had to get away. But he wasn't fast enough. The men were right behind him, and soon they caught up. Chike felt a hand grip the back of his shirt, pulling him to the ground. He hit the pavement and he felt pain all over his body. "Please, please don't hurt me," Chike begged, his voice shaking. "I will get the money, I swear." The men laughed. "It's too late for that, Chike. You made a big mistake." One of them pulled out a gun, pointing it directly at Chike's head. Chike's heart stopped. He couldn't believe that this was happening. This wasn't how things were supposed to end. The last thing he heard was the sound of the gun cocking, and then everything went blank. This was how Chike lost his life due to greediness.